Hi and welcome to the Eyeshadow Palette Tag. It's been great seeing lots of creators talk about the Eyeshadow Palette Tag again. Usually I would have done this on my blog, but I've just started YouTube, so I'm going to do this in video format. This idea was started by Ali Glines and Samantha March years ago, and I remember doing it probably about 5 years ago on my blog. Recently I saw Batty Bean, The Hersa Way and Glam Smitty do their Eyeshadow Palette Tag videos. Their videos linked in the description. I'll have the questions in the description as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. First question is, what is my all-time favourite palette? And I would have to say The Age of Opulence by Beauty Bay. Now, this is long discontinued. This was 2021 holiday. But this colour story is still one of the best. I just love it so much, and the quality here was fantastic. It's peak Beauty Bay formula, but unfortunately it is long discontinued. If I could pick one palette to buy again, I would absolutely buy this, no questions asked. Sorry about my nails, but these are incredible. I love this bluey purple. They are just so nice on the eye. They look amazing, especially that like deep purpley blue. Be a contender for all-time favorite palette as well, but unfortunately I haven't used it as much as I would have liked to. It's the Eyeshadow palette from Clionadh Cosmetics. Again, another winner, just absolutely amazing. I love blues, I love purples, I love greens, so perfect palette. There's 4 true multi-chromes, a metallic, a satin finish, and then this duochrome here, which is just spectacular. If you were to buy anything from Clionadh, especially on sale, this would be the one I would recommend, just because it is phenomenal. I like using grungier greens or like deep emeralds, but I still really like this as a topper. There is a small amount of micro shimmer in these mattes just to help them blend, but they're by no means a satin formula compared to Tidal. And a little goes a long way. Let me tell you, these mattes are pigmented. There's no talc in them, which means that they don't have a white cast on deep skin tones. So they'll work for a lot of people. Palette you keep for the memories, and this is going to be Archeo, the original from 2018, hand painted, and it's absolutely beautiful. You can't see the shimmer really, oh maybe you can. Super sparkly. All of Clionadh's eyeshadows are handmade, but this was hand painted and it's just stunning. Unfortunately some of my shades broke because I dropped it one time, and this formula isn't anywhere close to the new formula that Clionadh has since about 2019. But I can't declutter this, I can't. This is just so special to me because it's amazing to see how Clionadh has grown and the quality has improved. The quality has improved drastically, although I would not really recommend the new Archeo just because the colour story is a bit difficult. Still very pigmented and still talc free, but I just like Oceano and Paleo more. I think Paleo is just so underrated. I don't see anyone talk about it. This is a mix of warm tones and then blues, kind of warm blues. It's the revamped version of the original Paleo. I love warm tones, I love blues, I love this kind of duochrome, which is just spectacular. This Arctic Water is just a basic shimmer, but look at the impact. I shouldn't say that, this is a dinosaur palette. I love, but the dinosaur is looking at the meteor. I think it's very underrated. With the quality especially, it's great quality. I use this especially when I need to do a more toned down but still impactful look. So I use Tectonic, Fossil, Magma and Archea, which Archea is beautiful. It's like a watermelon kind of. It's purple to me right now. It looks like this deep berry colour, but on screen it looks goldy green. But yeah, another one I really recommend getting on sale because you can get it for 25% off and it is so worth it. One of the palettes that I don't really like but can't get rid of is the collab that Beauty Bay did with Nikki Tutorials. I got this a few years ago for free with my order, and I just love this packaging so much, and I like Nikki Tutorials as well. However, this is the old Beauty Bay formula, so it's not quite my favourite. However, and it's free, so I'm not exactly too disappointed. I just don't think it's as good as the newer Beauty Bay palettes. My fave collab palette, which has to be the Starcore palette from Cheeriep and Freya 86. I don't have that many collab palettes, but this is one that I knew I had to buy because this is just spectacular. You have a very like warm tone colour story on one side, and then the other half is cool tones. By the time you see this, I'll probably have my review of this palette up, so please check it out if you want to know more. 2024/2025 fave palette. It's gonna be Oceano again. I didn't get to use it as much as I would have liked to because I was sick in 24 and 25. It's just been really rough past couple of years. But yeah, I definitely plan on using this more. Palette you didn't expect to love, and frankly I didn't like this really the first couple of times I used it, but it's really grown on me. This did not stay around for very long. This was limited edition, I think holiday 23, and it was here 1 minute and then gone the next. I don't think it even stayed in stock for very long. I am glad I have this, especially since they've re-released it and the quality is not meant to be good. The matte formula is quite thin compared to the other Beauty Bay formulas. A bit more work to build up. Again, if you're going to have a shimmer on the lid, it's not that big of a deal, but I do prefer like deep opaque mattes. They're not glittery or chunky, they're just really nice. This is one I didn't expect to love, but I do like it now and I really want to use it more. Palette that sparks joy. I mean, how wouldn't this spark joy? You'd have to be miserable not to love this. This is the Cleona on Top of the World palette. Beautiful. I just look at it and it makes me so happy. And then you look inside and it's just absolutely gorgeous. You have the sun and the moon on the mirror, and then these shades here, which are like these flaky, iridescent, but really high impact, really, really sparkly, and then the little stars. Like, every time I look at this, it just makes me so happy. This shade, for example, is just so pretty. So this is Happy Go Lucky, and this has a really, really strong green shift in person, but on camera you're seeing the blue and kind of this maybe orangey, cool toned base. Texture is very smooth, super glittery without being chunky or like plastic glitter. This is all mica, this is plastic free. The newest palette is the Cosmic Beauty Angelic. Like, just look at this packaging, is stunning as well. And I'll just open this up. This is a pastel palette but with deepening up shades, which I really like. My favourite pastel palette was the Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute. I bought that on launch years ago and I have since depotted it, so I've hit pan on the blue, the purple and the pink. And I thought to myself it was just time to get a new pastel palette because my other eyeshadows will be nearly used up. But I am working on a review, so I won't talk too much about this in this video. So the first eyeshadow palette that I used in 2024, I can't remember. The first palette that I used in 2025 was the Reckless Romance palette from Beauty Bay. This is what it looks like, and it's a real shame that this was limited edition because the quality here was fantastic. And I had a voucher for this, so it ended up working out to be about £7, I think, with the voucher. I like the shade choices. I actually like this more than the smoky palette, and I'm just really sad that they haven't brought this back. I don't think they're bringing anything back. Sometimes a rebrand is good, sometimes a change is as good as the rest, but I really think they dropped the ball on their new rebrand. It's way too minimalistic and the pans are much smaller. I just prefer them in this size. Look, I know that Little Ondine had a collaboration with Jungjido, but I would love to see more Jungjido collaborations. I think he's collabed with other brands as well, but I would love to see more non-Tomie related makeup products. If I could redo one palette, it would be the Sudden Thunderstorm from Girl Cult. Unfortunately, this has a cream shadow, which I really, really don't like. Otherwise, this would be the perfect eyeshadow palette for me, but I don't like cream eyeshadows, and I don't think it works here. I like that they're taking risks, but I wish this was a matte. The final question is palettes that I would bring with me travelling. Nothing special, it's just a quad that I got for free from Elf. If I did have to bring another palette with me, if I was staying out longer and not just for hospital appointments, I would bring this. This is the Finishing Touch palette from Girl Cult, and I think these two work really well together. Just phenomenal shades. I really like these. It's so compact and it's very lightweight. It's about the size of my palm. Fits in a makeup bag, no problem, and definitely one that is sturdy enough to travel with. These shades are not too delicate, even though they're multi-chromes, and this one is a little bit more flaky. Still, I think this is fine to travel with. I have brought this with me once, and I had no issues. And also, there's a mirror in here. So yeah, what would you pick for these questions? Let me know down in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.